Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Greetings to you wherever you are, whatever time it is. Mark Miller here. Rory Becker's on the line with us.
I'm indeed. How you doing, Mark? We ready for another awesome time with the coding?
I don't know. I think that today I'm going to get my comeuppance finally. That people are going to be like, oh,
No.
that's it. Finally, Mark gets his
Surely
comeuppance.
not.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of doing some less than admirable things. I think today. Let's kind of show you where we are, where we kind of left off, and we'll kind of get into it. Yeah, I think that I tried to do so. Will Bennett of who's well known, in the chat room as as Will Bennett, sent me a sample with. In fact, let me. Why don't we bring it up, and we'll take a look at it here. Let's go to. Right over here. He sent me this sample, and I made some changes to it. He had the ability to add groups and things like that. I'd made some changes to my spec after he sent this to me. But he had kind of a nice thing going here with being able to add entries and then edit the entries and create sub-items and all of that. And it was looking pretty good. Like I could say, okay, I want this to be sound here. And then when I switch over to the other one, there you go. See how they're changing right here,
Sure,
depending on which one I'm clicking on. I played around with this. I changed this to a list box because I wanted to work with a list box. The tree view items seem to actually work better. Let's see. Hugo's there. Says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Hugo. Glad to have you here with us.
Morning, Hugo.
So anyway, we're working with the templates. And so I decided I spent about 2 hours this morning trying to get the templates to work with that massive big user control that we created.
Sure, yeah.
Ultimately, I ran into a number of problems that led me to conclude that that using data templates was not the fastest way for me to get what I wanted working. And so I made a cringeworthy decision, and I decided to not try too hard with the getting the templates to work, and and as a result, I'm kind of in the middle of the consequences of that decision. So with that said, it's like a little bit cringeworthy, but as in retrospect, when I built this effects builder, I never really this complicated piece out here. In fact, well, you know what? I'll just switch to the piece that's running here. I'll bring it up. And Rory, keep an eye on the chat room for me today because I'm not sure we got. So here we go. This is the effect builder right over here.
Sure, there's a lot of internal pieces that change depending on some earlier settings.
Yeah,
it's quite nice, but it's very comprehensive.
It's pretty complex, and because we're actually kind of switching between 3 different objects that are essentially bound to it, and each one of these entries has to have 3 of those. I kind of felt like we were running at the limits of what. Certainly what my expertise plus the data templates could give us. So I said, okay, backing up, because I also thought I think I'm going to need property converters, and I was just seeing a lot of complexity. So I said, let's back it up to a world and a domain that I am more comfortable in, essentially source code, and kind of that's what I've done. So if we make a change over here, I'm going to update this kind of the equivalent of a data transfer object live. Sure. And when I select a new one, I'm going to take that data transfer object and apply it to all of these controls. But there's so many controls here that code is chunky. It's pretty heavy. So I'm in the middle of doing this. So what I have done, let me check in my code here because it's always good to kind of if it's going to be cringeworthy, it's good to, get get it in front of everybody so everybody can be like, okay. So working on the emitter list, or not the emitter list, the effect list, sorry. The effect list, start of, I think we're in episode 84 today. episode 84. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and let me just review everything. It looks good. There were some good ideas that Will had that I did bring over, by the way. I brought over his relay command. I didn't need everything he had there. That was a good suggestion he had. And I, made a stab at an effect. I took our effect entry that we currently had. I moved it over into the view models folder. So I was following a little bit of this. I've got a VM effects list. That's my view model there. So I am working and moving in that direction. If we get enough done today, we'll actually go back to the view models, I think, and we'll get the whole thing. I want to get the whole thing to work so that when one of the other problems, let me show you that we have, is that if I click on this, it goes into edit mode immediately, and I really wanted to do 2 clicks to get there. That was something we talked about before last time. And then when I lose focus, I wanted to clear up too. So we've still got this.
You've got like 8 things in edit mode there, which is a little strange
to
have simultaneously going on.
Exactly. So we are in the middle of cleaning up a bunch of stuff to make it work and make it really nice.
What's the current state of the code then? Are we actually sort of in view model kind of like mode, or have you already started redressing things back in the other direction to source code?
It's kind of both, actually. If I am, as I recall, I've got a view model specifically for this list of elements right here. But when something is selected or when something changes, that's when we're in code. So if I select a new one, I basically say I make a call over to a function in effectbuilder.xaml.cs, which is, let's get over here. So load from animation is going to be called whenever we click a new entry. I'm sorry, I've got load from animation. Hold on, let me get out to its parent. Load from item is going to be called whenever I click on one of these entries here. So when I click here, load from item is called.
Sure.
Okay. And then load from item says, well, let's see what kind of animation we are. Let's check it. But then it says, you know what? We're going to go ahead and load everything from all the different controls that we support. We're loading the animation effect, the emitter effect, and the sound effect because by design, I wanted to have the design time experience be such that if I accidentally clicked here, we wouldn't lose all my animation settings, right? So if I said I'm on embers and medium, and I click over here, if I come back over there, I want that still to be on embers and medium. I want it to just automatically load itself up and everybody be happy and cool.
Yeah.
So so what's happening is in this UI, I'm storing for each one of these entries, I'm storing 3 different effects based on what you've selected in the options, and you can switch between those for any entry. So if I come in here in sound effect and I say, hey, this is for effect 1, like this, like that, and then I say, okay, great, and then I switch it back to emitter, I come over to 2, look at sound effect, it should be empty, come back over to 1, switch to sound effect, it's for effect 1, right?
Okay.
So
that makes perfect sense.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work and behave that way.
And it's good because that first row is just a set of radio buttons, and there's nothing inherent about it, nothing obvious to the user that if they did switch from one to another, that all their work would just vanish. So you really don't want it to vanish. You want it to preserve it for as long as possible on the off chance that that's the variation that they wish to keep.
Right. Will says, this feature is implemented in the code I gave you. Yeah, but it wasn't with the effect builder. And the problem is the effect builder has these pieces, the effect types built into it. So it's like I had like enough momentum and code written in this forward direction that I was like, oh, I'm going to have to unravel. I'm going to have to change effect builder. I'm going to have to start dropping radio buttons on here, and then break effect builder into three different separate user controls. And I was at this point, I was like, okay, I just want this thing to work. I don't, that's why I said cringeworthy. It is not the best design. It is not the best design. It is not the best design. I totally admit that. And however, I'm compromising on design because I want speed. I think I can get this to work faster if I just continue to push forward through this. That's what I believe. Whereas with trying to make it work with the data templates and my existing effect builder, I was looking at, I'm going to have to redesign effect builder. I couldn't find a way to do this kind of multiple binding of this multiple object over a cross and have the whole thing work. So Will Bennett says shouldn't have to. View model works like a facade. You can do whatever conversions there, etc. I absolutely believe you, Will, but I was not able to figure it out this morning after about 2 hours of trying to get it to work. I ultimately got to a point where I was like, what is happening? Why am I getting this error? Why isn't this working? And I was ultimately also looking at every path I looked at. I concluded there was a lot of code to be written in that direction. And there were unknowns. And in this path that we're going on now, the path I chose, there's still a fair amount of code that needs to be written, but it's all known. It's all known.
Yeah.
So
familiar territory, you might say.
yeah, so that's kind of where I am. My apologies to everyone who expects better of me today. Today is not that day. You are not going to get that day today.
At the moment, we will be results driven.
Yeah, we're going to be results driven because, as we all know, I don't know what I'm doing.
Disclaimer! Mark doesn't know what he's doing!
So, I want to be better, but I'm not, unfortunately, today.
Well, maybe at some point in the future we'll have a big old refactoring session, right? Having got it working, we'll maybe go back and look at alternative routes.
Yeah. I actually kind of want to have maybe Will come on as a guest because his expertise on there in this seems pretty high. So we can do that maybe for something new. So I don't have to say, hey, here refactor my code either. Yeah, there we go. He needs that disclaimer with my name, Hugo says, so we can pass the blame. Yeah. Isn't it? I can't wait till the future where everybody's got augmented overlays on everything they see. Sikoli Plays says hello. Hey, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Welcome.
We're super happy to have you with us. Hopefully today we'll actually be able to get past all this and actually crank something out. I think Test Effect is doing nothing now, as I recall. It's a big fat nothing that's happening here. I wonder if I can while we're at it. Let's see what we can do. Hey, I noticed Test Orbit is going. That's awesome, Will. I didn't know that was going to be working today or not. Let's see what we've got here. Active effect is a sound effect. Serialize. Look at that, and it might even work. Well, we don't have sound effects working on the other side, but I'm going to uncomment that. I think all I need to do is uncomment that code right there to make it work. Let's run it. Okay, does that mean now that I can come in and say I want to change this to an animation and make some smoke and say test? Will I get anything? Looks like I'm getting a big nothing is what I'm getting. But however, I should also point out that I'm only running the DHDM. I'm not running, and this may be why it's not working, because I'm not running the overlays either. So you guys have got you guys have access through the to the overlays through the chat room, but I don't have this yet. I think I'm gonna have to start all projects and kill all instances of Chrome. But I did this just so I could get a real fast edit, compile, test cycle. So with that said, if we check this in, we have not. I'm going to stage all of these right here.
There's just whilst you do that, Sikoli Plays has said, "What's this?" I think perhaps a little explanation may be valid here. Sikoli Plays, we are creating some tools for use in another stream that's going to launch, wherein Dungeons and Dragons style game will be played by those in the stream, and there will be a dungeon master who will be and these people plays in the thing will be in disparate locations. So what will happen is the stream will go out and will show the players on screen various stats about them, and then when events happen, such as somebody casting a spell, drinking a potion, we're going to have various effects on screen to show and enhance that experience. And so the dungeon master's needing a tool in order to invoke those. And since he will be in a disparate location as well, he won't be in the place where the stream is actually going out from, we need a communication between that tool and the overlay that's going to be presented there. So that's what you're looking at here on screen now. The effects in question, you've seen a lot of examples go past because we've also hooked a bunch of that up to the chat room so that people can just sort of play around with them from in there. If you look at some of the commands there, which is usually !test and a variety of phrases, But this tool here will allow us to tune the very specifics. And what we're actually working on here now is the building of a tool to suggest we're going to create an individual effect and add it and compose it, so to speak, with other effects and give those combinations names. So, for example, you might hear, or you might eventually create an effect which would include a sort of a sound of glug, 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 and then a small time delay, and then a poof of smoke of a particular color. And that sort of combination might be the drink potion overall composite effect. And so that's what this particular piece of UI in front of you is for. It's the construction of the specification, if you like, of a kind of a combination of effects, which will then be transmitted off to the overlay, the broadcast location, and indeed go straight out onto the stream. So that's, roughly speaking, what we're doing at the moment. I hope that helps.
I think Test Blood wasn't working because we had a different, we did the disclaimer scene, and let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can do it. I just switched back to the other one. It's loading up the Dragonfront overlay, and it's not quite done loading yet. And I'm not sure. Before when we started, I was looking at this, and it was taking a while. Yeah, I don't think. Hold on a second, Genescu 7. It is not done loading, and I think it's just Test Blood is what we type in. Sakuli Play is like typing in a bunch of characters that I don't understand. You asked earlier if we were Czechoslovakian, so it's probably all kinds of horrible things.
There may be people on the street in the chat room who are either Hungarian or Czechoslovakian. Mark is some variety of American. I wouldn't like to say specifically, and I'm from the UK, so yeah, just your basic common garden English, I'm afraid, between us.
Hungarian, cool. Excellent.
Nice.
Well, we're glad you're with us. Yeah, it is not, the Dragonfront overlay is not loading. It doesn't look like it's loading all the way, or it's taking a long time to load. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm just kind of looking at it and waiting for it. It hasn't loaded in the time I'm expecting it to load. So I won't be able to do the Test Blood piece, but all the other pieces are happening on the other overlays, so you can kind of see those. At least I believe they are. Let's just double check that.
There's a lot of nice things happening on the overlay, actually, from the stream's perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing it. It looks really good. So it's super cool. I think the scroll might not be working, Genescu 7, because we started switching over to this app right here. So that's anyway. Let's kind of take a look at where we are on this. So I think my delete button's not working yet. That needs to be fixed. So far, I have all this, the targeting. So all of this, active player, active enemy, scroll position, screen position, all of this is working. So I can say, I want to say, at least in terms of storage. So if I say scroll position skills, come in and grab strength like that, switch away and come back, it'll restore that, right? Scroll position strength. So that affects both animations and emitters, because emitters can also target these areas of the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I wonder if I'm just wondering if I saw a bug here. Let's just add a new one. Here's this. Switch to scroll position. Oh, maybe it's not a bug. Maybe I actually did. I just have it. So if I click over here, it keeps the same pieces, but are they actually different? Let me change this and come back. They're not. So it's the same target shared between the two. Does that make sense? I think it actually does because of the code. All right, let's look at the code on that. I want to come up to, go get my loading, load from animation. I think your HSL conversion is off, by the way. You're setting lightness greater than 100% the other day for my testing with HTML. That should always result in white. No, that was for, I was doing that. Hold on a second. Let me do a test purple burst here so we get rid of all of this blue over my face. And yeah, it's still, the overlay is still not loaded. No, the HSL for creating HSL, creating colors from HSL, that code's all working well. What we're talking about is an image, and we're talking about adjusting the brightness on an image. And that's where I discovered that, and this is we're just straight going out to JavaScript here. and that JavaScript, if I took it to 100% and it was something dark, it would not go to white. It would go to kind of a medium gray. So in some cases, I had to take it to like 500% or something along those lines for the adjustment of a graphic image, like an animation, like an image that's drawn. But in terms of the particles itself, when we're selecting colors there, that's all maxed out at 100% for lightness. Lightness there is white, absolutely white. So I'm comfortable with the two different usages of that 100%, or of the two different scales there for lightness used in two different ways. Okay, so load from target, animation effect target. Yeah, the animation effect has one target. It does. That's why it's making sense. So this code right here, Rory, that you can see I'm highlighting, that's where we do the load from target call, and it's just in the animation effect. But then we, wait, hold on a second. Load from emitter. Wait, hold on. Nope, I'm wrong. These should have individual
you're
targets.
3 different effects, aren't you? Which ultimately have their own targets internally.
Yeah.
Is that not the way that works?
Yeah. The problem is, hold on, my load from target call should not be in here. Let me kill what's running a second. I have to pick the right target to load it from, is what I have to do. I have to come in here, add block delimiters, and I have to come in here and I have to say load from target. And this is going to be the animation effect, like that, to target. And then here, this is going to fix that thing that doesn't feel right to me. This is going to load from target the emitter effect. Oh, hold on, I got to do this. Like that. And this emitter entry dot emitter effect. Okay. And then here we don't have to load it because it's a sound effect. Then I just need to go into animation, make sure we're not loading from target in there. Good. Okay, that's going to fix that bug. I like that. That's going to make me happier.
Nice.
All right, let's run it again. Continue to review. Yeah, the drag in front overlay is not working. And it makes me want to maybe fix that for a second. Look at that before we continue in this code. Okay. So now if we add a new effect and we say scroll position, skills, constitution, and we add another new effect, and we come over here and we say, let's make it an emitter, and we'll say scroll position, equipment, and we'll say gold pieces. Now when we come back here, skills, constitution, equipment, gold pieces. And I think that fixes it. If we come over to here, animation, this is the test, I think. We say, let's change this to main, race class. We switch back to emitter. Ah, come on, that should have fixed it. Wait, I think I know what the problem is. It's probably on the save. So load from target, save to target is here. And where's the target we're passing in? Save to animation, same problem here. Okay. So, I'm going to use edit and continue, I think. All right. We'll get rid of that there and go look at save to animation. And here's where we want to do this here.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same logic there. Yeah. And that's what the problem is there. So there's that. And then we want to emitter do the same thing here. This is going to be emitter effect.
You're missing semicolon up there.
Thanks. All right, cool. And then, so save to animation, I think we're inside of. Good. And then save to emitter, we want to make sure we don't have a save to target there. Take that out. Okay, good. And then run it. Okay, so now one more time here. Let's come up here. Animation, scroll position, constitution, switch over here. Clear that. And we're going to say equipment, gold pieces, fine. And then back over here. Oh, really?
Ooh.
Why is that failing? That doesn't make sense to me. Let's double check it. Saved animation.
Save the target there, animation effect, emitter effect. Huh.
There's save to target. Let's go find load from target. I feel like we're really close. Load from target. Nope. All right, fine. No. I wanted load target. Load from target. Set a breakpoint there. Set a breakpoint there. All right, and run it. All right. Here it comes. See what we got here.
Nice clean system.
Add, click on it. So we're going to say load from target, and we're defaulting to an animation target, which is whatever it's going to default to, which is no entry. Okay, fine. Run. And
Now we're going to set some things.
Change it to scroll position. Save to item, because we're just made a change to it. I'm just going to hit run on this.
I was going to say, it's not actually done anything at that stage. There's nothing been saved, so we'll still have the same values before at
Race
that particular
class.
point.
Entry name is null, but I think right after this call, or if we step into it, we'll see that. So wait a second.
So all those things are false?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Scroll position is looking. Oh wait, no wait, hold on.
Did it?
No,
did
this
it
was
do the scroll position.
This one, yeah. CodeRushed is
was
actually confirming it did, but I
showing
just
us where we were. That's good.
yeah, bizarre that I didn't spot it. It looked like I stepped right over, like it went so fast. All right, so target page is equal to main. Entry name is equal to race class. So there we go. We've got that pieces, those done right there. And there's my save to target. And there you can see the race classes in there. So that is correct. And then I come over here and switch. I'm getting a save to item call. I think I know why. Let's look at the call stack. Well, I feel like there's actually more outside of the call stack here, but the emitter checked. Well, no wait, did I do that? On property change affects load. It says property change. Yeah.
So we're changing a very high level property, i.e. the type of our
Yeah, I guess
effect,
I think I clicked it
and
is
thus
what
we're
I did.
saving.
Yeah, effect builder, and then we're saving to the item, which actually at this point I guess maybe I'm okay. I feel like we're going to come
So
back
is
with
that one final save to the emitter to the animation prior to then becoming an emitter and now doing a load?
Yeah, you're right. I think it is that. And then so we want to say, let's go look at save to item. Yeah, okay.
So we would imagine that if you were to just F5 here, we would then have a load. Oh, you
Yeah.
did, and we didn't.
I cleared one of the breakpoints is when we were stepping over it the first time. Let me go back and find it here. Load from item, I think that's where I want to be. I cleared this one right here. I don't know if that was the case or not, but let's. So we've got race class here for emitter.
So we're on emitter, so we move to animation. We expect to save.
I'm just going to run till I can duplicate it here. I'm going to switch this one over into inspiration. So there's the save. And then I'm going to go back to emitter. And now we're calling save to item. And we're saving race class. Is that what we wanted? Wait, hold on, emitter.
It's a little weird. When you change to something, you are immediately saving that same thing. You've just changed to animation, now you do a save of animation. Is that what you're expecting to happen?
Hold on. So I'm seeing, hold on a second. So I am seeing, actually, I want to check one more thing before I answer that question. No, I'm not expecting to, well, I'm expecting to save because this is changing. This whole thing is changing, so we're saying save. But if I come over here to animation and click it, we go to this. I want to just compare these two different targets. This one is on inspiration, and this one is also on inspiration, and effect entry animation effect. So we're saving out. Okay, so hold on.
That sort of makes sense because when you changed to inspiration in the first place, presumably a save happened at that time.
Hold on. I'm going to change this to armor class, right there. And so now coming in here, we're currently at inspiration, but after calling this, it should be out at armor class. It is.
Yes, that's
okay.
good.
So
now that's all worked fine.
That's good.
Pretty
and
reasonable.
Now let's switch away from armor class
to emitter, and somehow it's deciding to save an emitter.
Well, it says save to target on the emitter.
Well, actually, yes, I am misinterpreting that. It is only saying that we have just checked the emitter. So it's got to save to the target prior to having actually changed the target. So I guess it is saving animation at this point.
I think this is maybe necessary. I think the save to item call, hold on a second. The save to item call is kind of being called in the wrong place, basically. We're coming in here on this property change kind of piece right in here. And let's just run it. I want to see what the event args here on what the property is telling me is changed. Come on. Effect kind. So I think what I want to do is if I want to somehow pass in additional information here. And I think I want it to go along these lines. I think it is, let me stop it because I want to change the parameters here, I think is what I want to do. Let's pass in as well, save to item. So use CodeRushed to add a parameter here. We'll say e dot property name, and then we'll call this property name like this. And I think that what the effect kind is this special kind of scenario where I'm going to say if property name is not equal to effect kind, let me put that in quotes because that's going to be important. Then I can do a save to target on here. I can kind of make some.
Okay, but if that's the case, how are you going to have how are you going to have the effect kind itself propagate? Because your actual effect, in your effect, I think list or builder, I forget what it's called now, isn't going to know when you switch between those different effect kinds.
I think this may be all I need. I think that the other side of this is not checking, and the load is just saying, okay, let's load it up. Because here's the thing: if what has changed, if the property name that's changed is effect kind, that is triggered. Here, let's look at that so we can see it. That is triggered, I'm pretty sure. Well, I thought I was sure about it. Oh no, not effect list, effect builder. This is where I wanted to be. Right there. Well, there's the property. It's going to be on... where's the property itself? Let's just find that. Do this on the clipboard? I do. That's the property I think I want right there. Okay. So effect kind property. I want to go out to uneffect kind changed. Uneffect kind changed is here. Well, it's a dependency property. So hold on a second. Yeah, it's a dependency property, so it's going to, and also I'm also firing it as well. This is what I was looking for. There's the code that I was looking for. If we actually check RB animation, we fire this off as well here, showing that that property has changed.
Right.
This
okay.
is maybe not necessary, but that's the code that's happening now. So what's happening is we get into effect kind here, and we're basically, so the idea is that if I change it, I don't want to in that moment save that target out because I haven't loaded yet, is kind of the idea. So we
Sure.
saved item, we change it, we do the save. We don't want to save these. We really only want to save these if one of those target pieces are changing, which we could also similarly check, but this is simpler, I think, to check this way. So that's why I'm doing it. So I think that's going to fix it. So let's see if that does. Okay, so add, new effect. I'm just going to hit run every time we get here. I'm going to say scroll position. We'll clear this breakpoint right here and go and say it's going to be main name headshot, and then we're going to switch over to emitter, and we'll go to race class and skills. Oops, skills, sorry, and strength. We'll switch back over here, and it did not fix it. But it could be there's something else going on. It could be there could be two problems here. GG Feds is now following. Thanks for the follow, GG Feds. Glad to have you here with us. So let's see. Load from item. Why aren't we getting at this breakpoint is my question. Let's see here. Oh, wait, load from item is not going to be called when we switch just here, I think, is it?
Is it that you need a second item in the list to switch to?
It's in the call to save, I think, actually, remarkably, right? So what's happening is, I'm sorry, what did you say is our second item we need?
Well, you've only got one item in your list, so you're not switching between items, therefore loading from an item is perhaps unnecessary and not being triggered.
Yeah, but I should, yeah, you're right. I think that it's almost like we fix that in, well, the load from item is going to set those values. We got to reach out and get those. I think we have to do something different. Hold on one second. I think we're really close. Let's go repeat that search that we had before. Effect kind in quotes. Not there, not there, not there, not there. Here. I think animation, we're going to animation. If the effect kind, I think what the code looks like is this. This is going to be a little bit mind-blowing, but let's try it here. I think it looks like this. We're going to say else load from target. Load from target, because we just made a change, and there's probably a better place.
So if we are or if we have been told that we're saving, and we're changing to an animation, but the thing that has caused us to save to item is effect kind, then we should load from target.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting here. So we've gone to here. We're going to load from that target instead of saving to the target. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm suggesting, I think, is going to fix this. It's a little bizarre, but this has got to be a emitter effect. But I think it's going to work.
Getting ugly!
I know. I didn't promise it was going to be beautiful today. I did not promise that. All right, so let's see if that's any better. If we go to emitter, run, does it change? I don't know. Let's see, we're on skill strength. Go back to animation, run, and run. I go in there twice because we're changing. It goes to race class and main. I think it's working now. Let's clear the breakpoints. Yeah, I would call that pretty ugly. I'm not going to lie on that. But it looks like it's working the way I want it to work. And let's see here. So now we'll go to emitter, change it to equipment, gold pieces, come back over to animation, go back to emitter, and it's equipment gold
It's
pieces.
looking good.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm disappointed we had to get to there. We had to do that to get here. But it looks like it's now working.
But the effect is a lot more intuitive.
Let's see if we come over here now. Okay, there's my load from item coming in, which makes sense. That will run it right here. And so let's come in here. We're going to go to scroll position because it's the most complex. We'll go in here and we'll say skills. Stealth. So skills stealth. I'll even change this to stealth as a reminder of what we've got here. Come up over here. By the way, that goes away, but if I click it again, see what's going on? We've got some work to do there.
So we changed the text box, but
Yeah,
not the label.
come up here, come back down to here. Are we at skills stealth? We are. That feels good. And then the emitter, switch that to active enemy. Come back here, come back to animation, skills stealth. That is looking like
all
I want
maintaining
it to
pretty
work.
well.
Okay, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so
Woohoo.
yeah, so okay, not bad. But getting ugly is, you know, like this code is not great today. This code is, I am pushing through to make this code work and totally sacrificing beauty for effectiveness.
Yep.
All right. Next, Roy, you got to leave right on the hour. 14 minutes, I think.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Sad to say. Tuesdays are kind of getting a bit like that, but
No
that's
worries.
all right.
No worries. No worries. Okay. So next we got to look at the code and let's take a look at what we got out here. I'm just going to close that down, and you can get rid of this as well. I kind of want to declare a constant for effect kind here because of that. There we go. Good. It replaced all of them. Good. Thank you.
You're going to have magic strings, have them in as fewer places as possible.
Right. Okay, so let's see. I'm in effect builder, and let's go let's do the next kind of thing here. So we've got a load, load from animation, and load from animation I think is completely done. I think I've got everything there. The only thing I don't have a control for yet is the starting frame index. But I figured I would add that later as needed. So animation takes care of it takes care of the sprite name based on what radio buttons are out there. We can do it. Let's just do a quick test of that. Make sure animation is working and storing all the values and recovering them all. And then we're going to move on to emitter, and we'll go through emitter. Emitter's got a few tricky pieces in it. Because emitter's got some of these crazy controls here. This is like one user control that's got multiple values here to it. So, so that's a thing. But with regard to animation, let's create a new one right here. So we've got our animation. We'll make the first one smoke. We'll make the second one be poof. Switch this over here. And we'll make the next one embers large, make another one embers medium, and make the next one sparks. Let's just go back, make sure we got that. Embers medium is not being stored.
No, ember spread is apparently not so content to store.
All right, let's go figure out why embers medium is not being stored. Interesting. I wonder if embers large. So these are our two issues right here. I think get active animation. Wait, get active animation. Am I calling that in animation sprites? I don't think this is necessarily the right one. Hold on. Let's keep going. Get animation name. This is the deal. So I should be returning Ember's medium there, from right there. Get animation name is used here for the sprite name. So, oh wait, I think I know what it is. When I'm here,
Yeah.
there's no on change event being fired. There's no property change event being fired, I think, for that. Let's go take a look at that. Let's look for embers again. I've got embers checked. What about embers medium and large? Any radio button checked. Let's go into that. Any radio button checked. I'm calling settings changed, but I'm not calling on property changed. So that's the problem right here. So settings changed is kind of this empty kind of thing that I've got out here. But I think what I want to do is specifically add it here is what I want to do. So
certainly those other calls, it was fairly clear you were calling into property changed as well. So I think the convention is to call property changed afterwards, or Pro 4.
Yeah, so I'm going to call on property changed, and I'm going to pass in any radio button. Like that is what I'm going to do, just so we get out to where we want to be. And now we're in our breakpoint like we're expecting. We hit this, and now we're on embers large. I think this is going to work. Switch, that's good. Come over here, get to the medium, and now we're getting at this breakpoint as well. Keep running, and then come back up here, large, medium. Good. Okay.
Nice.
We're going to way through down to here. Sparks, add one more. Fumes, add one more. Stars, add one more. Blood, that's a gush. We might have the same problem here, I'm not sure. This one, let's see, do we have gush and larger? We do not have the problem. Looks like that event is being fired. Medium, small, click, 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 click. There's restrained, and looks like I've got a sizing problem here. This isn't going all the way to the edge. That's last one is heart over there. So there's this piece. All right, so now let's go through and watch the radio buttons as we move up. Looks like they are all looks like an extra embers right there. That's okay. All right, let's just adjust hue and lightness right in here. Let's come in here and make that 10. Make this 11. And make this one 0.3. Where's my 11? Ooh, looks like those are also got a similar problem. Wait, I got a 111.
Oh, there you go. It was a 1. It wasn't 11. You actually typed 3 characters in there, so I wasn't paying attention to where you were clicking.
Oh.
So I think perhaps we have affected all of the things.
Yeah, there's 10.
Can you get a 0.3?
There's
for the brightness
111.
was the other thing.
And then
One of them had a 0.3.
There's the 0.3.
There we
okay,
go.
good.
So all 3 worked. Nice.
All right, good. So that's good. So we're in good shape there with regards to the animation is set. Sound effect, I've already tested that. Tested this like that. Come away, come back. It's got it. So that's good. So the last piece is emitter to store all of this data.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we need to do. So the targets we don't need to worry about. This target here and target offset, that's already stored automatically. Just to show you, I can change that to 10 and 1010 and move away, come back, and there it is, the 1010. Same thing with screen position. So these pieces, so we're basically looking from emitter shape down. That's what we've got to deal with and save.
Indeed.
So I'm gonna kind of drag this off screen for a little bit, and I'm going to go find a save to target, save to emitter, and set a breakpoint in there. We'll start writing that code right there. Roy, I noticed we've got about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Before you got to go, I'm just trying to think. Is there anything else we want to do? I think we're good. All right. So there's save to emitter. So I'm going to make a change from circular to rectangular, like that. Oh, look at this! Not even coming out.
The event.
All right. So let's go find that one.
So presumably there's something missing in the XAML. to fire
Yeah,
the event on that.
that's what I'm thinking too. So let's go look at that. Let's go over here into this piece. Let's look for circular. Emitter round checked.
Okay.
What's happening? We don't have a property change here. Like this. So let's set a breakpoint. We'll add the property change call in there. We have the settings changed, but I added this as this kind of generic kind of thing so that we could do something. And I'm like, really? Should I, you know, maybe what I should really do, yeah, I'm leaning towards it. Let's do it. Let's do the generic. Well, should I? No, I'm not going to. I'm changing my mind because I want to actually, I think there might be also use of saying a very specific property changed kind of thing here. So let's, I'm just going to change it over here. I'm going to come over here, click on circular, and let's do this, and we're going to say emitter kind, like that is what I'm going to call this. So I'm making up property names here, but I'm passing them out so that I can use them later on. Let's do this after we do this. Okay, and that should be enough to, if we run it, to get a breakpoint over here and save to emitter. Good. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to save our current settings into the emitter effect. So we say emitter effect dot, what is it going to be? Emitter type, emitter kind, effect kind? No, it's emitter shape. That's what we're looking for.
That's the one we're targeting, yep.
Yeah, is equal to emitter shape dot. So it's going to be one of these. So we need to say, hey, we're inside the effect builder user controls. We're going to say, hey, if RB circular, is that what it is? Nothing.
Shape something perhaps.
Circular options, that's interesting. I bet it's RB round. Emitter round.
Mid around.
Dot is checked. And then I got to do this right here because in the check. So if it's checked, then we're going to say that. Else we're going to say emitter shape is equal to rectangular. Then we want to do the opposite of this in the load from emitter piece. So I'm going to just mark this, drop a marker there, say load from emitter, get out over there, and we want to do the opposite. So we want to say, hey, if emitter effect dot shape is equal to circular, then we're going to set this to true. Just use ST template right there. Why didn't that work? That totally should have worked. Set to true. Huh. That's really interesting. Is it because we're debugging? I wonder if it's probably because we're debugging, is my guess as to why that didn't work. Okay.
Maybe so.
All right, so there's that. And then down here, we're going to say emitter, RB emitter rectangular, I bet. Is that what it is? Rectangular dot is checked as true. Okay, so we've just storing those top two buttons with those changes.
Do we need to set the opposing items to false?
No, because they're
They'll
radio
be
buttons that
neutral to start with.
No, they're radio buttons that are grouped together, so they're going to automatically
of course, yes.
take care of that for me. So now this one is circular. Let's come over here, make an emitter. Let's clear that breakpoint. Maybe not. Just hit run. Okay, this one's rectangular. That one's circular. So there you go. You're seeing what's happening there as we're changing back and forth, right?
Yep.
I got 11:59, my friend. Should we say
Yeah,
goodbye?
well then it says missing you already, Rory, and he's correct. I have to go. I will catch you tomorrow, and I presume by then we will have the saving of all of these properties, and that will basically clear things down ready for composition.
Yeah, I think two things by tomorrow. One, we'll have the savings of all the properties, and that's number two. We are going to have an agreement that we will never speak of this code again. Okay? We will all agree in the chat room, everyone, we shall never speak of this code again. The videos will be deleted. There'll be no record of this particular code. I will uncheck that code out of version control.
What code do you mean? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Rory. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Thanks so much.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks to Roy. Hugo says, have a good evening, Roy. Sorry, I didn't get him up. Maybe didn't get that out in time, Hugo. And we certainly will not go into GitHub and annotate every single line of this code. We will not. No annotations. Okay, so we've got circular, rectangular here. Next, we need these pieces. We need to save these pieces out as well. And I think I kind of want to do the same kind of logic that I was doing before. But all right, so there's the first piece. After emitter round, let's go jump over here. And emitter shape options. We've got circular options and rectangular options. We've got two different kinds of options here. So this control right here, the numeric editor called ned emitter radius. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say, well, if it is a circle, and we're going to say emitter effect dot radius, I think is what I called it, is equal to this dot value as a double, like that. Okay, so there's that. Add block delimiters, and here we're going to say the emitter effect dot width is equal to, I think I've got an emitter width, is that right? Good, value is double. And then we want to come down in here and say height, that, and that's going to be net emitter height value is double. All right, that feels like my save is working. Let's go back up to my load and kind of put these pieces in here too. Here we want to say, is this property read write? It is not. I'm almost feeling I want to make it read write because I think I really want to have a line of code that looks like this. That's what I think I want to do if it's round. That's what I think I want to do. Add block delimiters there. And I want to just reverse these. Do I have selection invert here? I don't think I do. I do not. Okay. That is not there, so we'll have to manually reverse those. And let's go fix this. Let's go add a setter in here. So I can use a CodeRushed template S right there. Should give me the setter. And then I want to, let's do this so we can get a little bigger code so we can see the code a little bigger. This value as double is coming in as a number. So all I have to do is say value is equal to value dot to string, like that. And I think that's all I have to do. It's pretty simple. And then that's the code over here. So now, it looks like I got an extra brace right there. Will, I see that you've got your fingers crossed behind your back. That's definitely not okay with this particular code. Let's run it and now see what we've got here. So now circular, let's change this to 34 or 333. Let's do that. 333 radius. Switch up here, come back down. Ooh, it did not work. Got to 32. 333. Is it because of the change? Is that the problem? Yeah, we didn't get the save to emitter call on that. So we need to go to the text change there and see what's going on with that particular piece. So let's go over into the XAML. What do we got? Any num edit changed, and we're doing settings changed. Guess what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to do that. Now I'm back to that feeling I had before about this, about the, what am I going to do? Yeah, I think I'm fighting the feeling. I'm totally, so where is it? We're back to circular here, save to emitter. Let's make a change to this right now, change it to whatever. Now what I want to do is say this. Oh, man. Like that. Yeah, I'm convinced that there's maybe value in being able to specify these as opposed to having settings change, fire yet another property changed piece out there. Yeah, so there's like ugly all over the place here. That one is going to be there. Any target value changed. And then we're going to say any target value, like that. Okay. So now we run it, and now we should get the save, and now I think it should work. So there's my save to emitter call there. And so we've got 333. Click up here. Clear that breakpoint. Come back down, and there's my 333 saved. Okay, cool. So I've got my radius. If we go to switch to rectangular, let's run it. We've got to change this to 1,000. Let's clear this. Let's not clear because I want to get here. Change it to 1,000. Come back to circular. 333. Go back to rectangular. And we got 1,000. Click away. Click back. And there's my 1,000 right there. Okay, so height and width look like they're being saved. Edge spread is not, so we need to work on that next. So let's save that piece. That's in common that for both of the shapes have the edge spread property. So edge spread is equal to, and there's probably something out there called NED. Edge spread, there it is, dot value is double, right there. And then we want the reverse of that in our load. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my load from emitter and I'm going to bring it down here, is what I'm going to do. Load emitter, where are you? There you are. Let's cut that to the clipboard, come back down, paste it right up here so I can work with the two close together. All right, there's my edge spread right there. We're going to come in, put it in here. We need to reverse these. Oh, I missed CodeRush's reverse selection invert feature. It was so cool. We'll have to put that, get that back in here. Okay, so there is our reverse of that. So now our edge spread should be saved. Let's go ahead and clear that breakpoint. Drop a marker right here in case debugging takes us elsewhere. We want to come back to here. So now edge spread, let's make it 106 here for number 6. Go back up here, come back down there. There's 106 is being stored. And change this to like 1,000 as well. And that height, come back up, come back down. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking great. So I'm feeling good about that. All right, next, emitter initial velocity is the next one we need to worry about. So let's set a breakpoint here. Oops, secret feature, don't look. And set a breakpoint, that'll come later. There's my velocity, make a change. And it looks like we're coming in here, so that's good. So now let's look at that. This is initial velocity, I think is what it is, we said. No, emitter velocity, emitter initial velocity, there it is. So we'll say emitter initial velocity is equal to, no, it's going to be TV, I think, because it's a, wait, no, it's just a text. TBX is what I'm using as my abbreviation. Emitter initial velocity dot text. We want to pass that into something called toVector, which we wrote before, like that. And up here we want to do the reverse of this. So we want to say toVector string is what I think I added in here. So I've got a function called toVector string that does the reverse of that. It takes a vector. So this is of type, let me just jump in so you can see it. This is of type vector, which just has an x and a y. That's it right there. And so the toVector string is going to turn that into that right there. And then the other one that we use down here, this toVector call right here, that just goes in, does a split, looking for a comma, calls getNum on both of those. getNum's right above, and it does a trim right here on it, so we can have all the spaces we want as long as we have number, a comma, and another number. That should all work. So there's our emitter initial velocity. Let's go ahead and run it. And so now there's my initial velocity at 10 here. If I come up here, come back down, now we're at 10. Emitter gravity, that's the next one. Oops, excuse me. So we'll set a breakpoint over here, make a change. Ooh, emitter gravity did not reach us here. Why is that? Let's looking for another breakpoint over here. Emitter gravity, it's a numeric text change is net emitter gravity changed. Right here, we've got no property change call. Okay, so let's make a change there. And we're going to say on property changed, emitter gravity. Using camel case nav to grab this piece, pasting it in. There's my emitter gravity call. Looks like we have a problem down here too. Let's fix it while we see it. This one's going to be particle gravity. Again, using camel case nav to just grab that word particle. Any other problems above or below? I'm going to say no. So we'll run it. There's our breakpoint. We're at our breakpoint. And so now we're going to come in and say emitter gravity. There it is right there. That is equal to ned emitter gravity dot value is double. And while we're here, what was the second one? I forget what the second one was. Gravity center. Why don't I have that there? Why do I not have emitter gravity center? Let's go look at this. I have particle gravity center. Gravity center is what I'm calling it. Okay, cool. I can do that. Gravity center is equal to, and then we want to do another 2 vector on it. And it's going to be our probably TBX gravity center. What do we got? What do you got for me? Somewhere in there, emitter gravity center, dot text. So there's that there. So emitter gravity, we didn't grab this one, put it up here yet. Blastoise 1 2 3 4 3 6 4 5 5 5 says, hey, what are you programming? We are making a Dungeons and Dragons tool for dungeon masters to be used with a Twitch live stream of a Dungeons and Dragons game that will send visual effects out as players are playing the game. That is what we are making. So that's the essence of it right there. We'll saying test orbit right there so you can see. There's we're working on the emitter stuff right now, and you can see an example of an emitter right here on screen over the overlay. So we're going to say 2 vector string, I mean, like that, and that should take care of our gravity center, and our emitter gravity. Let's run that. So we've got. So we're going to come in here and say change emitter gravity to 20, and the center we're going to make it to 11. Like that. For this one, we're going to move away, come back, and it's keeping both of those values. So that's good. 120, go away, come back. It's good. So that's all good. Next, we have wind direction and air density. And we haven't gotten to one of these guys yet. These guys are the tricky ones right here. These controls, this is one control, and when I change it, we have more values that we can access over here. And I can even go even further and bring up even more pieces. This is all one control. So we're going to have to figure out a smart way to I guess, store all that and bring it back. It may be that we are actually totally good. I think we're going to have to write at least a function to make that easier. So we're working in C# right now, by the way, but we also work in TypeScript as well. So okay, so we are working on wind direction and air density. Blastoise 1 2 3 4 with a lot of numbers is now following, and check it out. You're getting this awesome particle effect to say thank you for that follow, Blastoise 1 2 3 4. Okay, so another breakpoint here, and come back over here. Change our wind direction, and good. We came here. That's good. So now we're going to come in here, and we're going to do our wind direction, which is going to look like this line of code a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Emitter wind direction, and this piece over here. Let's move this up so we can see it in the code right here past all these dots. What do we got? We got a wind direction. There it is right there. Okay. So there's wind direction, and then I think we had an air density as well. Air density is just a number, so it's going to look like this line of code. See what we got here. That's what I want, air density, and then it's going to come up from net air density, like that. So these two we've just added. So we want to come up here and do the reverse of those. Like that. Genesis 7 says, Will Bennett, you know Valentine's Day is close and blood is red. Yeah, Genesis is not giving up. Sorry about the blood. The blood is not working. We'll look at that, like, we can look at that right now after we get this. We'll test these two, and then we'll go look at the blood, see what we can figure out. Why isn't the blood effect working? This line of code I have to swap around here. So we're going to say this is equal to vector string of that. And now we'll run it again, clear a breakpoint, test it, and so now emitter wind direction, it's going to be 21, air density is going to be 11, switch away, come back, 21 and 11, excellent. Let's test it with negative numbers, expecting that to work as well. It works. Okay, good. So we're working our way down. We've got our emitter properties right here. We still have to do our particle ones, but we're getting there. Let's go ahead and stop for a second. Let's figure out why we're not working. I want to say, why don't I have an option for multiples in here? That was what we had before. I guess I have to come up here and say, set startup projects. Guess that's what I got to do. Oh, wow, and I got to reset these again too. Sad. Okay, so we want to start this up. We want to start Mr. Announcer Bot, and we want to start up the Overlay Manager. I'm going to kill a whole bunch of instances of Chrome right now. They're just going to be all just taken out, hundreds of them. Hundreds of tabs destroyed, crying out, and let's try a run. And let's switch our overlay over here. So when I'm in this scene for broadcasting over Twitch, there are no overlays. So I'm just doing that so we'll reload the overlays once everything comes up. Mr. Announcer Bot just showed up in the chat room. Here comes the local host. This page is the main page, but there's also the secondary page, which is the Dragon overlay. So I'm going to actually open a new window, and I'm going to type in that for the Dragon overlay, the Dragon front overlay. This is the one that wasn't working. This is where we draw the blood, and we draw the scroll. No, wait, the scrolls go in the back. The blood goes here, and some of the other effects come up here. So there's the blood. That's working there. Let's switch back to the stream, and now see if that's all that's needed to get the stream blood flowing. That's it. It's over in that spot over there because we haven't switched the other view. Let's see what happens when we do this. Are we going to get, looks like we're not getting, are we getting anything? We're not getting any scene changes here like we used to get. There is blood on the stream, but we're not getting the scene changes, which I'm not quite understanding why. And let's see if we can get test effect to work here. I'm not seeing anything. Let's see if the front overlay is showing it up over here. Test effect. Oh, well, is it because I don't have the one up here? I don't know. Let's go see what's going on with test effect, because I'd like to be able to actually shoot effects out here. Test effect is not there. It's in I thought it was in effect list.xaml. Test effect, here it is. Button test effect, click. Why didn't I see it? Right there, okay. So let's do this. So breakpoint, call test effect, and let's see what we get here. Active effect is an animation effect. Dense smoke is the sprite name, that's all correct. I'm not getting it. It looks good. And then we trigger effect. The serialized object. Interesting. Not apparently working. Let's do this. Let's see if we can set a breakpoint in there. To be able to set a breakpoint, I can't use this one. I've got to make the change from here. And then we need to open up our, so that's going to load. While that's loading, let's go get our, I guess, connection.ts file, which is where we get our trigger effect call comes in. Let's set a breakpoint here. And let's come back over here, click test effect. Okay, there's the button test effect. Let's run. Do we get to the other breakpoint? We're not getting the other breakpoint. Doesn't seem to make sense. I don't see that at all. Well, that connection.ts is the place where that trigger effect comes in. Could also explain why player page changed isn't happening either. Why is this not, why would this not be working? Yeah, we're not getting, when we played and changed the pages, we're not getting out there. Strange, and I'm not sure what the problem is. So do you sometimes Python lives? I assume that you're asking if I do any work in Python. The answer is no, no Python. I've not learned that. I just tried this refresh. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. I'm not expecting it to, but I wanted to try it. Test effect is not sending anything out there. The effect data looks good. Let's set some more breakpoints here, see what else we can figure out is maybe going on with this. Look for this for a while. I just saw blood shooting out from another screen on this page right here. So that blood did work. Let me zoom out a little bit. You can run that test blood again. Here, I'll do it for you. There's the test blood piece right there. Python is the best language in the history of history. Hiss, said World Awake. Cool. I'm happy for Python. I just don't know it. I haven't learned it yet. I am incredibly uninformed in that regard. Although, yeah, my level of knowledge of Python is that it's very effective for string-based manipulation in like list-based manipulation, things like that in websites, is what I believe. Well, Bennett just said not. Okay, so maybe that was sarcasm. I didn't even get that. So, all right. So let's see if we can trace down and see, get a little closer and find out what's wrong here. We don't want to be here. We want to be here. And I think we also want to be, we want to set breakpoints over in our overlay manager. I think not there. Where is it? It's in, oh, it's in our hubs, I think. Notesrbot hub. And we've got a trigger effect call right there. And we have in our CodeRushed hub, I think we have one, two. Do we or do we not? We do not. Okay, so it's just there. So let's try one more time. See if we can get any closer out here. So we're here, hit run. I don't even get to the other one. Why is that? Python made me a man. Well, Bennett says, I'm just trolling him, never used it. Well, one day, for me maybe. Well, Bennett says, I like C#, F#, and TypeScript. Don't do much F# now, though. Yeah, I think, for me, I think I'd be most interested in learning F#. I know just the smallest amount of it. I dipped into it one day for an hour or two, I think, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then dipped out and never to be in there again. I'm not sure why trigger effect isn't working. Let's see if we can jump in, we can step into here. Invoke async. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I keep this up for Science of Great UI reasons because I want to talk about it. So I keep saying yes to this right here. But there are better ways to solve this that don't involve 3 paragraphs of text. And so that's it. That's it. That's all we could step into from this side. All right, I'm like, I think I need to think about this. And I'm a little bummed about that because I really wanted this to work. I almost feel like a restart of everything would make this suddenly start working.
Sad Panda!
Yeah, Mr. Announcer Guy says, sad panda. I would agree with that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. I think that, yeah, we're not, it's like it's not even connected. We're not getting over into, it's like we're not why is that the case? We refactored this. Let's do this. Set a breakpoint there, test effect, run. Let's see what's going on here. Nope, it's connected. Its state is disconnected though. Does that mean we've never called start async? Let's set a breakpoint here. And let's kill everything. And let's run. Sorry, this wrong button hit. All right, here we go. So there we go. We've got a non-null connection, a non-null disconnected. Call and start async. We definitely are calling it. And by the way, still disconnected. I guess I wasn't really expecting any change there. And, oh, but look, it's now working. Okay. So that's good. Now working. Will Bennett just was able to change to page 2. Excellent. Let's create a new animation effect. Run. Look at this. We're actually getting on. It was just like I just had to look at that, and we got some smoke. Okay. So test effect. Hold on. Let's clear this breakpoint. There's the effect right there. Okay. Do smoke. There we go. Poof. There we go. Embers. Cool. Blood is working from the chat room. Sparks. All of that. I like this one. It's subtle, but it's these little fumes coming up here. I like that a lot. Let me switch back into this. Whoops, not that view. Sorry. This view. So hold on. It's going to take a second. Anybody who... Hugo, you might want to do your test rainbow again because I cut you off just as you were doing it. Yeah. Well, Bennett says Marcus hit, Black Hawk it down. So blood comes out from the mark position. So it will come out from my position eventually. We'll get it to come out and figure out where the players are and come out from that position. So that's kind of where we are. So there's the fumes there. If I want to move the fumes over here, I'm going to move them over by about, it looks like about 300 to the right. And let's do a hue shift and make them green. So it looks like I've been poisoned. I think a hue shift to green is about a 110. Let's see what happens. Test that effect. There we go. And then here's where I can make the brightness greater than 100%. Here's where I can say, let's just go to like 200%. And there you can see the 200 on top of that with the 100 behind it. So that would be what the effect would look like if I were poisoned. Okay, so kind of interesting, right? I had to like refresh the cache, do a hard refresh, shut everything down and restart it, and then it just worked. That dark looked more like Pigpen than poisoned. Sure. Well, we can totally do that, right? We can play with different effects here. I don't have a way to clear all the effects. So right now everything is just, you know, here, but I can manually kind of come in like this, change the scene, come back, reload the overlay. It's just finished loading. And then we can play with different things. That also means we can come into our emitter. Some of this should, well, all of this works here for the test, but the parts that we're loading up when we click on it, we have to finish that. So we've got like these pieces, but we now have to work on particles per second and the other pieces of data down below. So let's work on that. Let's pick up our work on that. Keep going, since I'm so super motivated to do that. And that sounded sarcastic, but I'm actually, I guess I'm motivated to make this work.
Back to the code.
Back to the code. Motivated to get this done and behind us is kind of what I'm motivated about here. So this is going to be our effect builder. Save to emitter. Let's put a breakpoint there. And we will continue. And we will say, okay, let's change particles per second. And it looks like we're not getting a breakpoint there. So particles per second, we've got a problem there as well. Let's go look at the designer. Any num edit changed? Looks like we're missing. On property changed. Any num edit? What's going on? So breakpoint there. Change it. Okay, we should totally be. What, did I just not have the breakpoint set? No. Wait, there's where I want to be. I want to get to. Save to emitter. I've got a breakpoint there. I did not hit it. Why am I not hitting that? Save to item. Make a change up here. Am I not debugging it? It's like it's not finding the breakpoint's not being hit for some reason. So I got one thing working and now another thing not. Save to item should be totally, no, wait a second, hold on. Hold on, let's set a breakpoint here. Maybe this is my problem. It's really weird that if I'm here and I make a change, I could totally get here. Whoops, that was the wrong button to hit. But if I'm here and I make a change, do I get there? Well, now I'm here. What's happening? Oh, selected item is null. I have to click on it. Is that my deal? Let's try that. And now switch over here. And now that's okay, we can keep running. Save to emitter. And now we're going to change this. Boom. Clear the save to item breakpoint. Get to the save to emitter. Okay, good. All right, sorry. All of that to just to run one more time so I can particles per second, max concurrent, and stop after is what we want to look at. So emitter effect dot particles per second is equal to there's that one. Reverse these up here. Run it. The next one is max concurrent. There it is, right there. Get a reverse of this up here. Okay, and run it. So let's add a new one. Change this to emitter 2. All right, so boom and boom, you can see them both changing there. 400, 550. Welcome to the world of coding. Fix one thing, break another. Can't wait for Star Trek era where you can just tell the computer what you want in English. Best programming language. I think, Will, those comments were when the test effect wasn't working. What was interesting is I made no changes to the code. I essentially just reset everything, started again, and it worked again. So I think the connection was made. I'm not sure why it wasn't. It was like it actually took 2 of those tries to get it to work, and it was working again. Alexa, Earl Grey, hot. Does that work for you, Hugo? That's like, that's pretty cool if it does. I like that. Okay, so next, stop after is the next one. And that's also, looks like I think a numeric up, down. So let's do this. Stop after, we're going to give it a limit of like, say, there we go. And now we're going to say dot stop after, no, max total particles is equal to ned, what are we calling it? Max total particles dot VAD. Okay, that, I'm going to swap it around up here. Like that. Let's run it. I want to clear the breakpoint for a second and just test this for a little bit. So stop after. I'll say stop after, like, say, 100. Click away, come back. Oh, nice. Look at that. It's displaying it as infinity. Holy cow, I love that. So if I change this to INF, infinity, like that, and I switch away and come back, is it going to nice? Look at that. That's very cool. Stop after 100. So that's like a couple things all working together here. Okay, I'm happy about that. So yeah, so you don't have to look and find what the infinity symbol is. You can just come in here and type something in, like INF, like that. I think that should be sufficient for it to figure out you want infinity. Nope. Looks like we need more. Just have to start with an uppercase letter. Is that what my code is doing? I want to know what happens if I copy that to the clipboard, come up here, paste that in, and then switch away, come back. Nice, it works. Okay, cool. Particle gravity is next. Gravity center, gravity mass for the particle. So let's come over here. Will Crusher, ask Hugo Doll. Okay. Let's see here. We want to say particle gravity. Will Wheaton plays the Ensign Crusher. Oh yeah, that's a stretch. All right, there's our particle gravity. Let's get our center while we're here. Particle gravity center is equal to, that's going to be a TBX, I think, because I'm just using a regular text box for that. Particle gravity center. Grab the text, and actually I want to take all that and pass it into 2-vector. Like that. And I kind of want the reverse of that here. I do this, and then this is going to be calling 2-vector string, like that. Okay, let's run it. Clear the breakpoint for a second. Drop a marker in case I need to get back. And run it. So now particle gravity is 10. Come down. There's 10. And looks like that's working. 110, 10, 110. Gravity center, 33, 44. Come back, go back down. That looks good. I feel like that's all good. Okay, cool. Wait. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, good. Particle mass is next. So make a change. We're in. That's good. When I took them to the vet, one of the nurses actually got it from their names without me saying anything. I was amazed. Wait a second. I missed something. Will. Took who to the vet? Oh, there we go. Got it. My two dogs are Crusher and Riker. Both Wills. Nice. I love it. Okay, sorry. I missed that one from before. Awesome. That's so cool. My dogs are named Einstein and Tesla. And Tesla's the older, smarter dog, and Einstein is a complete idiot dog. This dog is like, it's like Einstein is clearly a sarcastic name, not a hopeful name in that other dog's case, in her case. Sorry, I apologize. I don't really mean to be disparaging, dogs, but this dog is not a smart dog compared to her older sister. Okay. Need a Richard or a Feynman, says Hugo. All right, so let's see what we're doing here. It was particle mass, I think is where we were. Particle mass. There it is right there. And that's going to be our net. It's going to be a numeric edit. Particle mass dot VAD. Value is double. Pop it up here. Switch it. There's the switch. Let's keep running. Particle radius. Now we get into crazy world here. Set a breakpoint over here. Actually, let's not set it just yet. Let's just double check that our particle mass is working as we were expecting. There's change to 211, and it's working. Okay, so everything on these two rows and above is being saved. Now we're into particle radius. We're going to make a change here. Let's set a breakpoint. This hopefully will not be as hard as I am worried it will be. Okay, so we're going to say this dot. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to run it. I totally forgot what the property is we're messing with here. It's particle radius, and it's a target value is what it is. So we need to set another break. We've got a breakpoint saved. Particle radius. Okay, here we go. Emitter effect dot particle radius is equal. We need something that says to target value. Oh wow! What do I have here? Check it out. I don't have to do anything. And we're going to grab a TV, where's my particle radius? There it is right there. Okay, that's super cool. Already had it, what I needed that in that direction. What do I about the other direction? I think I got to set these a bit at a time and here's where the function I'm going to have to write. Set target value edit and pass in the radius and the radius like that. Something like this is what I need to do. Mark is drawing paint again. We need drones. You should get the Hangman and Rock, Paper, Scissors game from Deb Chavin, Mark, so we can entertain ourselves while you do mundane code. I believe you. You're totally right. All right, let's get this one done, and let's see if we can figure out how to get drones back. And we'll do that right now. We'll try to get drones back, and then I'll come back to this code once we got drones going and working. I think we can make it work. So let's see. Let's declare this. And now I think it goes like this. Target value edit dot, and I think there's a value that's going to be equal to our target value dot, what you got for me? A value property. Sweet. And then we just want to kind of go down here and grab the different pieces here. What is this one? What other ones do we have here? We have target binding, relative variance. absolute variance, all of those. Okay, so absolute variance is what we're looking for. Absolute variance? No? Variance? Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I think it goes like this. If absolute variance is not equal to 0, then we're going to set the variance equal to the absolute variance dot to stir, like that. Otherwise, we're going to set the variance to the relative variance, and we're also going to, I think there's a variance type property in here, if I'm recalling correctly. Is there a variance type? It's in units. Do I have a units I'm saving up over here? I'm not storing units. I have a slight problem, I think. Let's look at this a second here. Target value is one of my user controls. Go to TBX units here. Is my value a string? I think it is, isn't it? Value is a string. Okay. So I guess my thoughts are here that it just does this. And that's all I need to do right there. So my variance has a string on it. And then we need to come down and say dot binding type, I think is what it was. Binding is equal to target value dot binding, target binding. And is that going to work? What's binding over here? It's a string. So then we're going to say toString. Like that. Ooh, I know what you're missing. Background music. Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Some background music here. When Rory goes, we need that. So you guys design, this is what you guys can do while I do the mundane code. You can redesign my show. I'll come over, check over there, see what things I need to add and do. And we'll go from there. All right, so let's do it. Let's work on that. Well, you know what I was thinking, by the way? I was thinking if we have the drones and we're flying around, we could put switches on board to allow you to pick the music. Switches on the screen. And so you'd have to fly the drone through the switch, and flying it through it would activate it, and then that music would be selected. So you could like bring up a menu that says, you know, has some options, and one of the options is change music. So you just fly through change music, then fly through the one you want. So, okay, let's see. Target value, edit binding. There's another piece here. We've got variance binding. We've got drift. It's one of the pieces in here. Drift, that's equal to target value dot drift. Let's see, what are these? Are these types the same? Looks like they are not. Is drift a string as well? Yes, it is. And so binding, drift, variance, we also have min and max values. So we have min. I think I can come up here, mark both of these, and do duplicate line on here, and try that. Min, and then duplicate line again, and change this to max. And that might all work. Right, let's see what happens. One of my goals is to model cloth and fly drones through it to tear it to shreds. Kind of like a Super Bowl entrance. Wow. And Will, just to be clear, when you're saying modeling cloth, you're talking about using software to model the cloth, not actually being a model and wearing the cloth as the drones fly through your clothing and tear it to shreds at the Super Bowl. Just point of clarification, you know, interested in that. All right, so set target value edit. Let's set a breakpoint here because that's I'm a little nervous about that. Let's run. And let's also set a breakpoint here just because I want to see it happening. So here's this call here. Particle radius is now, you can see 0, 0, 0, everything but the value is 1, 1, 1, 1, which I think might be what it was. So we'll clear that. We'll run it. Let's run it. And particle radius, let's say plus or minus 5%. Run it like that. There's my 4% right there. I guess I hit 4 instead. Click away. Come back. Click. Here, let's look at the breakpoint, step through it. So we got 1, 1, 1 there. The variance is going to be 0.04%. Is that right? Did I type in 0.04 or 4%? You know what I got to do? I got to multiply this by 100. 100 times that. Otherwise, it's going to change every time we do this, I think. Okay. And so now our variance is at 4%, which is what I typed in. Good. The binding is equal to truncate. The drift is equal to 0, and the min and max are both 0 on that. I guess that's okay. Run it. And let's change these values. Let's clear this a second and play with it, make sure that all these values are being stored correctly. All right, so let's say 4. We'll make this 3. We'll make this 2. We'll make that 1. We'll change that to wrap. We'll click up here, and we're looking for, when we come back, down here, it should be 4, 3, 2, 1, and wrap. Okay, good. And back up here, it's 1, 0, 0, truncate. Excellent. So we've solved that. Next, min particle size. Let's do that. Min particle size. Actually, you know what I said I would do? We're in min particle size. Let's see if we can get the drones going up and working. We'll do work on that now. So to do that, I think I'm going to have to shut this down, shut everything down. And let's take a look at what we've done here in our pages. So I've got created this drag and front overlay here, which has just got all of this code in it here. We essentially need one more overlay, a different overlay for the drones, I think. I wonder if I can copy this? Maybe, does that make sense to do, or should I just add a new page? Add a new page. Is it a razor page? I'm super confused about this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy it and paste it and see what we get. Hopefully it's going to paste the whole thing and give me all the sub pieces as well, and won't cause any problems. All right, we're going to call this the drone overlay. I think we'll probably go for about maybe 10 more minutes, and then we'll finish this up.
It's okay. I'll just get called, but it's fine.
You right now or no?
It's at 1 o'clock, but I can just make it a regular.
5 minutes?
I
All
can
right,
do
I'll
that
stop in
next.
5, and you've got it. Yeah, okay, no worries. All right, so I was just talking to my wife, and she's asking how much longer, and it's going to be about 5 more minutes. I think we'll shut it. All right, so drone overlay. Let's go look at that. Pages. Do I need to create a model for this? Wait, where is the drone dragon front overlay model coming from? Is it from here? Not seeing it there. Is it inside here? It's there. Okay, gotcha. All right, so this is going to be the drone overlay model. We're going to change this. That doesn't look good. All right, let's change this to drone. We're not happy about that. It's drone overlay model. Okay, good. And change this to drone overlay model. And the front main, I think we just switched to main here on this one. If I'm correct on this, what's the index doing over here? This goes with game dev source main. So it's the same main, but there's a difference in, I think we want drone game is what we want. .js in here on the drone overlay. And we want no dragon game is what I think. Or at the very least, no dragon front game. I think dragon game is needed, but drone game is not. There's a slight asymmetry there. And I think that might be it with the drone overlay. And so if I do that, just killing every instance of Chrome, and we run this, see what happens. So it's compiling. There you can see right over there to the side. The boss speaks. All right, what are we doing here? Why aren't we running? Oh, we're still building. So we're waiting for that right there to finish. Let's switch to this view. All right, come back over here. Here it comes. Let's switch this now to the drone overlay. See if this works. If this works, I'm expecting to see the CodeRushed piece at the top. Oh, and I was expecting it to take a lot longer to load up, but it did not. DroneGame.js doesn't exist. Okay, so it looks like that was wrong. I chose incorrectly, or it doesn't exist yet. So, all right, so here's what I'm going to do. Since we're kind of in you know, not such, you know, kind of trudging along code, I'm going to break out of that, and I hear the cries for mercy, and we'll stop the stream today. I'll give away a copy of CodeRushed, and we'll get back here and we'll get back into it, and we'll do more exciting visual stuff tomorrow. And hopefully I'll figure out what's wrong with the drones as well. I think it's not I think it's a few lines of code before we get that fixed. All right, so with that, let's give away a copy of CodeRushed, and
CodeRushed giveaway!
And today's winner is
Navy SEALs what?
Navy SEALs what? That's today's winner. We will contact you via Twitch DM with instructions on how you can download that. So that's it. Thanks so much, Will and Hugo. Appreciate you guys as usual. Janiscu7, good to have you here. World Wake, and everyone else who's lurking out there in the chat room. Good to have you with us. And we'll be back tomorrow, and I promise it will not be as trudging away. Comps for food. See ya. Have a great day as well to you, Hugo. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.